Hi guys, James here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's having a great day. In today's video, guys, I'm going to be sitting down and playing with a new eye primer that just got released. Well, it got released about 3 weeks ago, but I was on holidays and all that type of stuff. But this eye primer is from Glam. This is what the product looks like. Now, Glam is an online beauty retail store here in Australia. They sell Made by Mitchell, Blend Bunny, and there are like Trixie Cosmetics and a whole lot of other brands as well, where you don't have to buy it from the US. You can just buy it from that online retail store, and you don't have to pay the $60, $70 shipping sometimes that those indie brands have. So they did come out with their own beauty product, which is their eye primer. This is the High Impact Eye Primer. It has a net weight of 12 mils or 0.41 ounces. It is in the universal shade. Now, this cost me $22 Australian. It does have a 12 months expiry date on it. I will link all their information down below for you guys to go check them out. But I wanted to buy this primer because they did say that this is a lot better than a lot of other primers on the market. Now, personally, I haven't used an eye primer in probably 6 to 7 months. I used to always use the P. Louise ones. And then I just started using my foundation because sometimes my P. Louise ones were a lot lighter than my foundation. And I was getting sick and tired of like the gap between my eyeshadow and my brows being a lot lighter than my foundation. And for me, it was kind of annoying seeing that line. So I just started using my foundation so I wouldn't get a different like shade of my foundation and my eye primer. So I've only been using foundation for the last 6 to 7 months. So I wanted to test this out on one eye, and then on the other side, I'll just apply my eyeshadow over the foundation like I normally do. But yeah, guys, that is today's video. I hope you enjoy these types of videos. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new. And if you're back and returning, thank you so much for returning, and thank you for joining the family and continuing to support my channel. Alright guys, I haven't even opened this. I did receive this the day before I went on my holiday, so it was just sitting on my bench for a long time. This is what it looks like. There's actually quite a lot of product. Like, that's quite long. That's pretty good. For $22, that's not a bad price either. Now the applicator is just a little squeezy like tube. I am going to just apply it with my fingers. You could probably do it with a brush, but we'll see if it works with the fingers. If not, I will apply it with a brush. Ooh. Okay, so it's very white. So this is meant to be a universal shade. Maybe it will go down clear. I think I've seen one person use this already on TikTok, and they said it worked pretty well compared to the Danessa Myricks eye primer. Again, I haven't used an eye primer in ages, but I'm gonna apply it with my finger and blend it out. Hopefully it does work over foundation. I think it does, but we're going to find out anyway. I might have put too much on. I feel like I might have put way too much on. Alright, so, okay, I probably should have put this on with a brush. This is not going great. Oh my god. Okay. It feels quite waxy. It's not like moisturizing. It feels very slippery. There's a little bit of a grip, not really that grippy though. It's just very slippery, like it's not really blending into... I don't know if I was meant to put this over my foundation, but I'm assuming most people do. I think maybe I just put too much on. Okay, next time I won't put as much on, but we're gonna continue. Okay, I do have some texture right here because I've got some dry spots, but that is on both of my eyelids, so it's not like one's going to do better than the other because of the dryness, because I have dryness on both of my eyelids right now. I don't know what's happening with my eyelid, but alright, I think I've blended it out the best that I can. I don't like that it's changed the colour right here compared to this side, but we'll just continue with it that way. I will know for next time not to put on as much. Now the palette we're going to play with today is the Glaminatrix palette. Because it is a pastel palette, I find pastels quite hard to build up. So I want to actually compare it to the foundation side and the eye primer side, and just test if the actual pastels will show up better on the eye primer rather than just the foundation side. So we're just going to go in these lighter shades right here. This row basically. We're not going to do anything too complicated because again we're just testing out the eye primer formula. Now most of my brushes I think are clean. Yes, they are clean. I cleaned them yesterday in preparation for this video because I like to get my area all neat and tidy before I sit down, because sometimes I can get overwhelmed and not want to film because it's so messy. Anyway, I'm just talking too much. Alright, we are going to go into the first shade, which is the shade Mystify. This pink pastel. Really pretty. We're going in the, did I say? Yeah, Glaminatrix. Sometimes I say Glamlight when I should say Glaminatrix, but I'm going in with the Glaminatrix EO7 brush, a little fluffy one, picking up the pastel shade. We are going to go in with the primer side first, just because I don't know if it's better when it's tacky or not, but we're going to go in with the primer side first, just because the foundation side is completely dry, so there won't be anything different on that side than what I normally do anyway. There is probably some instructions. I will read what it says for you right now. Actually, let me just read what it says for you. The directions say this eye primer has been created to max out the performance of your shadow and make it last. A colourless base that gives a staying power and intense colour payoff. Apply a small amount to your eyelids with a brush or fingertips. Okay, so you can do it with fingertips. It's enriched with jojoba seed oil. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Hyaluronic acid, aloe vera. Okay. So it basically just, it doesn't tell you if you're meant to put it on tacky or not, but I'm assuming you are. So we're just going to continue going on with this brush. I feel like maybe this brush is a little too soft. So let me go in with, we'll go in with this one. This is the EO2. It looks dirty, but it is clean. I actually cleaned all my brushes yesterday. Oh, cat hair on it. That's always fun. Alright, so we're just going in with a soft pastel look. And just, we're going to test out the pastels and see if it actually does enhance them and make them pop a bit more than the foundation side, which is what I've been using lately for the last 7 months. Only because, again, my P. Louise primers that I have are way too light for me. I kept getting them in my P. Louise mystery boxes, and they were always way too light. And I hated the white, like, gap between the eyelid and the brow, and it was very hard for me to fill in that area with the foundation to try and get rid of that harsh white line, which was the eye primers, because the foundation would get on the eyeshadow that I blended out and it would just be a mess. So I decided no, I would just only use foundation. And I've been liking the way that's been working. But if I can get an eyeshadow primer like this that has like a clear base, then maybe I will go back to using primers, because I do like something that will make my eyes pop a little bit more. I mean, I love colourful eyeshadows, but if I can get one that will make the eyeshadow last longer, especially when I'm hooded and I get that like creased line, sometimes my shimmers and eyeshadows will separate in the creasing area. If I can get an eyeshadow primer that will stop that from happening, or at least make it happen a lot less, then that's a win for me. So hopefully this works for me, and it was only $22, so it doesn't break the bank. If it doesn't work for me, I can always pass it on, because it is pretty easy to clean. You do squeeze the product out, so you're not getting any old product going back into the tube, so it is quite hygienic to pass it on if it doesn't work for you, so I can always pass it on. But so far this colour is laying down nicely. Again, it's a pastel, don't expect a lot of pigment. I'm just really testing out the eye primer compared to my foundation base. But so far I'm actually quite happy with that. I know you probably can't really see it on camera. I have zoomed you in, but we'll put a little bit more of a darker colour on the outer edge just to make this pop a little bit more. Now for shimmers, I do have these really pretty like Morphe eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadow things that I've used a couple times on my channel, but I wanted to bring them out of the archive and play with those today. So we're going to be testing out liquid eyeshadow over this primer as well and giving it a really good test. I'm really happy with the way this is looking. I am going to use exactly the same brush because I always use the same brushes when I do my eyes, so there's no point in swapping the brushes over. And okay, so far this is looking quite nice. My cat has just walked in and now he's going to want all the attention in the world. Just as I sit down to film this video, he could have... Shush! Shh! No! No! Sometimes it's so annoying. He goes away for hours during the day sometimes, and I'm like, great. And then other times, as soon as I sit down, I don't know if he thinks I'm talking to somebody else and he wants attention. Wow, you can actually see the difference. I don't know if you can see the difference on camera, but in person, as I'm trying to apply this, this is grabbing the pigment a lot better than this. Like I'm loading my brush up and I'm packing it on here. But as I like try to pack it on and blend onto the eyelid, it's starting to dissipate already. Like this area, I just packed a whole lot on. It's already disappearing. But this area, it's staying on. So that's interesting. Like I'm already seeing that in person. Again, because it's such a light color, you might not be able to see it. But so far, so good. I do love playing with pastel colors, but sometimes it can be frustrating because you're just packing and packing and packing the shades on just because they seem to disappear. And sometimes after 5 or 10 minutes, they've completely disappeared. So I'm having to go back and redo everything. But this eye, it's holding its own. Like I've just packed a whole lot more on. I feel if I blend the edges out, it's just going to blend away to nothing. But let's try it and see. Okay, so this crease area here seems to not want to hold the product on, but the other side's doing a good job. Like right here. Oh, my camera's not in focus. Why is my camera not in focus? Sorry, I don't know why my camera's not in focus. Alright guys, for some reason my camera wasn't in focus, and I don't know for how long it wasn't because I was looking at the palette and the mirror. Is it in focus again? I don't know what's happening with my camera. My lights on my camera have been playing up. Hopefully it's in focus now. I was just saying that this area here, I'm packing a lot of product on, but it seems to just disappear straight away. But this side is actually holding onto that pigment quite well. So let me just quickly load up my brush again and really pack on this middle part. Like I'm loading my brush up. And doing everything that I normally would with my other eyeshadows. So that is the shade Mystify, and I think that is the best that I'm going to get it on this eye and the other eye. So we're going to go into the purple shade, which is the shade I don't know how to say that. I'm just going to put it on screen. It's this one here. It's not like a bright purple, it's a muted purple, but we're going to put that on the outer edge with the same brush. Actually, no, I'm going to go in with another brush. This is the E03. I really like this because it's quite a dense brush. So we're going to apply the outer edge with this dense brush and see if the dense brush actually does help. So we're going to start with the foundation side first and just really pack it on the outer edge and also into the crease a bit more. It is a beautiful pastel purple shade. I love this shade so much. It is a muted purple, almost like a lavender. And I just think it blends into the pink shade so nicely. So that's why I chose it. This is going to be a very simple look, guys. I think I'm only going to use maybe one more color after this. And then we'll go in with the shimmers. It's mainly just testing out the eye primer. Look at that purple. That is so pretty. And look how easy that was to apply. This brush is probably my favorite. If I could buy a couple of these brushes from Glaminatrix, the single E03, I would probably buy another 3 of these just as a single because I really like this brush. And it's perfect to blend but also to pack on because it's slightly angled. I don't know if you can see that. Slightly angled but still fluffy, so it's great to blend. And it's becoming one of my favorite brushes in this collection. Really, really like this brush. And I want a couple more. Look at that. That's blended out already. Glaminatrix matte formula is amazing. Their shimmers is outstanding, but their matte formulas are amazing. Now we're just going to go into the eye primer side and do the same thing. This shouldn't take long as well because this purple just blends itself out so nicely. Now purples are normally quite hard to make, but this purple has never given me any problems and it's never become patchy. Sometimes purples can be very vibrant, but after 5 or 10 minutes when you blended it on your eyelid, it can get very patchy in certain places, and I have had purples do that to me quite a few times, but this purple has never done that, and it blends itself so nicely. Alright you guys, that is all blended out and I really like the way that is looking. Now when I look in the mirror in person, this is a little bit darker and it's holding its pigment a little bit better than this eye. But I do think that this side is actually holding its own pigment wise. It's just a little bit darker on this side. But I've packed on the same amount of product on both eyes using the same brushes. You can definitely see the light pink on this eye is a lot better than this eye. I don't know if you can see right here, I've got a crease and I am getting a line right in this area here. So the light pink shade is separating right there. On this eye, that is not happening. So the primer eye is one step ahead with the light pink shade than say the foundation side, and then the dark purple is a little bit darker than this eye, but I still like both eyes. So let's continue with the last matte shade that I'm going to put on, which is the shade Visionary. It is like this almost yellowy green, that one right here, and I'm just going to put that in the inner corner. So we're going to go in with this Glaminatrix brush. This is the E05, and we're going to really load up my brush with this because it is a very, very light yellowy green shade. A lot of pigment on that, and we're just going to put that in the inner corner because I just wanted a little bit of a bright pop of color right here. I am going to put the shimmers on in a second, but I thought I would put the matte shade on first before I did the shimmers. Okay, so now the thing is with my inner corner, this side is always better for my inner corner. It always holds the pigment better. It always shows up better on camera and in photos. I don't know why. This eye, I can load up 3 or 4 times more product on this eye and still never have it perform like this inner corner does. So let's see if the primer will change that. Sometimes I get so frustrated. I build up so much inner corner pigment on this side over the other side, and it just never looks as good, and I get so frustrated. But that actually looks pretty even. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just load this eye a little bit more because I don't want it, just because I don't want people to think I'm putting less on this side just because of the video. Like, I'm loading both sides up and this one is holding its own. I'm happy with this. Before I would have to load up 3 or 4 times more product. But I put an even amount and they look, in person at least, they look good. Alright, I'm happy with the way that inner corner is looking. Now I did want to put the light matte shade in the inner corner now so we can wear it for 5 or 10 minutes while I put the liquid eyeshadow on, and then it will give us time to see if it disappears or what happens with the inner corner. Just because pastels, again, don't always last on the eye. So we're going to go in with this Mixed Signals Morphe Into It and Over It. Now, I think the actual shade of the liquid eyeshadow... Am I picking up the right shade? I've got 2 shades. I wanted to get the right one. Yeah, this one here is the right one. This one is the Into It, and it's also got the Over It eye primer, or sorry, what's it? Little eye stick, shadow stick. That is pure white. We're not going to use that today. We're just going to go in with the liquid... What do you call this? Liquid... eyeshadow. I keep forgetting what it's called, but that's what it looks like. Really, really pretty, pink and purple, and I think it'd be great with this eye combination that I've got on. Sorry, my phone is going off. I must have said something to set Siri off, but it was looking something up that I just said, so I just wanted to stop that. All right, let's put this on. Now, from memory, this is very, very like ice cold. Oh, before I put this on, can you see now that there's a bigger gap right here where that pink crease is? It's getting wider, but this eye, there's no crease so far. So the eye primer, crease-wise, it's winning. All right, now we're just going to put this liquid eyeshadow all over the actual pink moment. Now, you're going to probably think, why did you put all that pink down just to put a shimmer on? Well, I wanted to have a light pink base underneath this shimmer because it is translucent. So that's why I wanted to put that down. And then it will also let me test out how this works on the new eye primer at the same time. So that is why we're doing this. It's so pretty. I'm hoping that the camera will actually show you what it looks like. I'm hoping that it's actually picking up on camera because this is stunning. Now I could do a couple of like layers of this, let it dry down, but I feel like 1 layer is enough. I don't want to overload my eyelid just because sometimes when this dries down and there's too many layers, it will start to crack. And while I am applying this, I'm trying not to blink, just because it will transfer up here if I blink, because I'm quite hooded. So I'm trying to keep this eyelid open while this is drying, which is, it's one of those hard things to do. When you think about not sneezing or you think about not scratching like an itch, it just seems to get worse. So I'm hoping me thinking about not blinking is not going to make me want to blink more, but so far so good. I'm really hoping that it is catching the light on camera. I will zoom in at the end of this anyway and show you what both eyes look like, just so you can see both eyes and see the difference, or if there is any difference at the end with the eye primer and the foundation base. So let me just quickly do this eye, and then we'll let this dry down, and I will come back and I will show you the final result. I am just going to go off camera as well and blend out the bottom lash line. I'm just going to use the purple and the pink matte shades on the bottom lash line. So I'll quickly do that, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the final result. Hopefully you will actually be able to see a difference, because in person I can see a difference, but hopefully you'll be able to see it as well. Now again, this is just meant to be a light-hearted, fun video, so hopefully you guys don't take it too seriously. I mean, I do still want to test out the eye primer compared to what I normally do and see if there is any difference, but I don't want to like start any big debate or anything like that. I still do want you to leave a comment down below and tell me what you use. If you do use an eye primer, what brand of eye primer you use, because I'm happy to try out a new brand of eye primer if you consider it being one of the best that you've ever tried. Or just let me know if you just use concealer and foundation, because I know a lot of people use the matte paint pot concealer type things or their foundation. But let me know in the comments what you think works best for your eyes. And if you've got any brands that you would like to suggest for me to try, then let me know. Now, Sigma does have an eyeshadow base, but I can't get Sigma here unless I buy it from Sigma's website. And if I do, it's probably going to cost me like $40 shipping for this one single eye primer. So I probably wouldn't buy an eyeshadow primer from Sigma because of that reason. Just because there's no point in buying like a $20 item to pay $40 in shipping. That is just not mathing for me. So I wouldn't buy anything that's going to cost me more in shipping than the product itself. But if there's anything that you would like me to try that I can get locally, or if you've got any tips, let me know. Now, I'm just going to let that dry down. I'm going to blend out the bottom lash line, put some lipstick on. I'm not going to do any lashes, just so you can actually see what the eyes look like without any lashes in the way. But yeah, I'll come back with my eyes finished, lips on, and then I actually haven't put any highlighter on. So I'm going to put some highlighter on as well, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the final result. I don't know why I'm holding the mirror up, sorry. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, I am back, and this is the finished look. I don't know if I chose the right shimmers. I forgot that these shimmers tend to dry down and start to flake off. So probably not the best shimmer, but I'm actually happy with the final look. I haven't played with this palette for such a long time. I do love Glaminatrix palettes. I think I've got about 5 of these Glaminatrix palettes, and I just love adding them to my collection. So I'm really happy with how, again, all the mattes performed and everything like that. The shimmers are a little crusty. Let me zoom in and show what I am looking at. I always go the wrong way. Looking at, forget about the shimmers. Like the shimmers, they're very pretty, but they are starting to get like crusty and stuff, so I just want to show you what both eyes look like. This is the eye with just the foundation base, and then this is the eye with the primer. This eye is a bit more pigmented than, say, this eye. Like this purple outer edge is a bit more pigmented than this eye, at least what I can see in the mirror here in front of me. And then the inner corners, well, I mean, this eye I always have a problem with, but it's actually looking as pigmented as this eye, which has been the first time that's ever happened. I normally always have to load up my brush, like I said, 3 or 4 times just to get this eye looking even close to this. So I'm happy with that. Also, I think some of the primer transferred along the bottom lash line, just because this like yellowy greeny shade that I put in the inner corner has actually clung onto the bottom lash line a lot better than, say, this side has. So you can see the difference there, at least again I can see in person. But I do have to say that I don't know if you can see the outer edge where I actually put that primer down. It's kind of removed some of that foundation off my face there, so you can see a bit of a difference compared to this eye. Like this eye is a lot more like smooth and, you know, seamless compared to this side, and I think that's just because I put too much primer on. Alright, that's enough of you looking that close to my face. But yeah, guys, I'm really happy with the way it's actually looking. Now, again, this was just a friendly little competition against what my base is normally compared to this eye primer. I do like the eye primer. I think I will put on a lot less than what I did. But I do think it actually did a lot better, especially with the crease. Like this eye, you could see throughout the video that there was an actual line where those shades were separating in the crease of my hooded eyes compared to this eye. Like it wasn't happening on this eye. So for creasing, I think it does its job. It doesn't allow creasing to happen, or at least it stops it from happening a lot more than normal. In my case anyway. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it performed. And $22, it doesn't break the bank. So if you do want to try it out, I will put the link down below. I don't have a discount code or anything like that. With Glam, they don't even know that I exist. But if you do want to check it out and you're in Australia or New Zealand, because they do ship to New Zealand as well, go check it out. They do have lives on TikTok where things go on sale. So I know it was on sale for $10 at one point, which was $12 off. And I think that went on sale 4 days after I bought it for full price. And I was just thinking to myself, damn it, if I waited 4 more days, I could have got it for less than half price. But that's alright. Again, $22. It doesn't break the bank. But yeah, guys, that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, again, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what is your favorite eye primer to use, or what you use as an eyeshadow base. It doesn't have to be a primer. It can be foundation, concealer, whatever you use. Leave a comment down below because I'd love to know what everyone does use on their eyes. With that, guys, it is 9:30 p.m. right now, so I'm going to go and have something to eat. I'm going to take some photos first, have something to eat, and then I'm going to go and wash it all off and cuddle up with my cat because he wants some loving. It is still really cold here. It has been raining and windy for the last couple of days, and I love the cold, but I need some sun. I need some more sun. So hopefully it gets nice and sunny soon. Alright, guys, I'm going to love and leave you, and I'll see you later. Oh, my love. Bye.